Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk about CBD oil and what it does to my Asperger's, my anxiety. I've been taking it since 2017, so it's evolved over time, and I'm going to talk about the benefits and the side effects and if you should take it and what type you should take. So when I first started taking it, I didn't really see any benefits. I didn't notice anything. And that was probably because I was only taking 500 milligrams. Now I've moved up to the 1500 milligrams. But back then, I took it for about 2 weeks before I started to realize that I was a little calmer in situations. And I didn't really notice anything until a month had passed and it had built up into my system. And I actually went to go meet a person for a job, and I'd never met them before, and I have social anxiety. I stim, I was rocking back and forth, which is a calming, I've been doing that since I was 2 years old, rocking back and forth. And then I turned to drugs and alcohol when I was 17, and almost died. So when I found CBD, I was really just blown away by the concept and what it could do. And the THC is minuscule. We're talking like 0.03 THC. You can't get high from it, but it mellows you out and it smooths out the rough edges. And I really noticed it when I got to this interview and I talked to this guy and I had eye contact with him more than I normally do with people that I just meet. And when I get nervous, I also get a nervous eye twitch, and it just, my eye shakes, and it's really just frustrating. And especially if people look right at it right when it starts vibrating, and the CBD somehow has smoothed that over, and I don't have that eye twitch anymore. But after the interview was probably the very first time that I realized that CBD worked, because looking back at the interview on my drive home, I was like, I wasn't nervous at all. That was amazing. I mean, it was so unnoticeable that, it dawned on me, on the drive home. I was like, I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, I didn't look away. I talked calmly and I got the job, and it was great. And so I just started to become a normal user of it. So not only did it smooth away my eye twitch, it helped me sleep better at night. And I never wanted to get on medicine for anything. I didn't want to get on it for anxiety, depression, Asperger's, coming off of addictions. When I quit alcohol, I could have died. But, luckily there was natural supplements back then. It wasn't CBD, but I've always been into natural supplements. So when CBD came around, I was one of the first people to get on it in 2017. And now it's, there's so many companies, So I'm going to talk about the side effects really fast. If you take too much, you can get a little bit, not only you can get drowsy, but you can also get slightly dizzy. It's not to the point where you're falling over when you walk or anything like that. It could be slightly uncomfortable. So they recommend 20 drops, I believe. And you can always start with the 500 milligram. And if you don't notice anything after a month, you can work your way up to 750 milligrams. And then keep working your way up. I love the 1500, and I love the full spectrum. I love the broad spectrum because it has all the different compounds of CBD. It has CBC and CBG and all these other CBs in it, different compounds. I don't really care for isolates. I don't get the full effect. So the other thing, so now today, 4 years later, I'm taking it more towards the evening, about 8 p.m., because I go to bed around 9 or 10, and it takes about an hour to really take effect. And for me, it relaxes my muscles, and it allows me to go to bed easier, because lately it's been a struggle to sleep. but CBD has always been there for me. And you know, if you want to go out, if you have social anxiety or you want to go out and talk to people, definitely take it an hour and a half before, and that to get it really in your system. And there's a lot of poor quality CBDs out there. I took one when I was visiting my parents on the West Coast, and it just made me drowsy, and I just didn't feel any of the benefits of CBD. So you definitely want to find a good quality CBD oil. But over the years, I've been experimenting with, like I said, 500, 750, 1500. But I've pretty much been with the same brand for quite some time. And it's my go to. It's just as, it should be part of your repertoire of natural supplements, just like, fish oil and CoQ10 and aspirin and things like that. CBD should be right there with it. So it's definitely helped. It's also helped reduce my sensory overload because, like I said, if there's too much stress in my life, I tend to rock. I tend to tap. I tend to hum. I tend to look away. I want to isolate more and more. I want to just escape. I just can't handle people after a while. I have kind of like a Asperger's meltdown, and CBD pretty much prevents me from getting to that point where I have a meltdown. It just smooths the edges, and I can, you'll build a tolerance to it. So you're going to have to play around. I would start with a quarter dropper. I'm up to, even with 1500 milligrams, I can do a dropper, a full dropper, and be fine. It just mellows me out. It's not even that noticeable. What's really noticeable is actually coming off of it. Because, a lot of people are like, I don't feel anything. This is snake oil. It's a ripoff. But they don't do it long enough. So it takes longer than, sometimes it can take up to a month to get enough into your system. It's like a tonic that you have to build up into your system. And then you'll notice it when you quit, almost more than when you get on it. But then you can't live without it. That's what I've noticed. And it's just something that I need to have. Like I said, it's just one of the supplements that will be with all my other supplements. I'll never go without it. And if I have a important, encounter or meeting to go to, I'll do a dropper an hour and a half before I meet anyone. And it also just kind of slows down, it makes my thinking less erratic. It just kind of smooths everything out. I don't care so much about what happens. And that really is that affects anxiety levels. Your thoughts can basically spiral you out of control, and CBD kind of mellows your thoughts, which then mellows out your body. So I definitely recommend CBD for autism, for Asperger's, for if you're coming off of alcoholism, if you're trying to quit sugar, if you're trying to quit any type of addiction, this could probably help you get over the cravings and the urges that you might have if you're quitting. Now, I'm not saying this is a replacement. If you're coming off of serious drugs, you'll probably have to seek medical help because you could die from your withdrawals. I nearly died from, quitting alcohol several years ago. But luckily I didn't. And I've used CBD oil to get off of sugar and other things. I quit cigarettes years ago before CBD, so I couldn't use it for that, but I'm pretty sure it would help, smooth out the edges with quitting cigarettes and alcohol and anything else like that. So check out the link under this video, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.